Like, do you walk around and you're like, do I have BO or did I shit myself? Like, what the fuck?
Previously on Basement Discourse, me and the boys weeb out.
See? Perfect.
I don't know if I'm happy about that or not because I've enjoyed your voice for the previously so much.
Dude, one thing I didn't realize was how deep my voice actually is in real life. I'm like, hold on, I thought my voice was way higher, like way fucking higher than that. And I'm like, no, I'm the deepest dude here.
Oh no, it's
to
just
be fair,
comparatively.
Brady's like a squeaky toy.
That's true.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Don't do it in conjunction with us two. Like that's not a good comparison level.
Yeah, but I definitely thought my voice was like a higher octave. I didn't realize how deep it was.
No.
Yeah.
I have sort of a weird voice.
Anyway.
I don't know how to describe it.
Welcome to Basement Discourse, guys. Yet again, for another episode. We got Brady up in the top left, ish, right, ish. We have Jace on the other side of him, and probably me in the bottom again, because that's just how it works somehow. Every dang time. You can find us. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter. You can hear us on Spotify and on Apple. How's that? Boom.
Pretty good.
And if Brady hasn't made our MySpace yet, well, then you can find me and Jace on the next episode alone.
That fucking time.
Yep. We're drawing a line.
It's only fair.
So we were talking before the show, as we always do. We try and come up with ideas about what the fuck we're going to talk about on the show. And one of the ideas was each one of us is going to pitch something to another, try and sell us. Because Brady's got the car salesman hairdo already, so we figured that was going to be the thing.
I'm looking for a 1990 Honda Civic. What do you got?
19.
Sell us.
92.
You got to sell us on this shit now.
300,000 K. No, it's.
Bro,
Sorry,
you gotta nut it out. You got the hair. You got to do it.
Dude, he was nutting it out before, bro.
So
it's cool.
I'm gonna tell you guys. All right. Who here has played Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, the first one.
I actually haven't. Strangely, I've missed the boat on all of that.
So I mentioned
mainly because it was too anime. Like it was, I wasn't really into anime.
Yeah, anime is for losers.
Right? Weeb life.
So the reason I bring it up was because it was recently the 20-year anniversary, and they announced Kingdom Hearts 4 as well as a bunch of phone games because that's what they do. I will say this about the Kingdom Hearts franchise: I've never seen anything experiment as much as these guys do. It's been fucking wild. Like, the first game was on PlayStation 1. The second game was on, Game Boy.
I thought the first one was PS2.
No,
Yeah,
PS2. Sorry.
PS2, yeah.
Definitely PS2. Definitely PS2. Sorry. Second game was on Game Boy Advance. Technically. Kind of logically, and the way it all works. And then they, go on from there to go to, there's one that's only available on PSP, and then there's,
You are trying to sell us on this, right? Like, you're not telling us to go and buy it every...
My mum actually bought me a PSP for Christmas, so...
That's random.
Oh, she always gets me random retro gaming shit. She's a fucking legend.
That's awesome.
That's
so good.
But they released a bunch of things on, there was, one part Game Boy, one point, everything. They just wanted to, and even the play styles of these games, there were some that were, more linear, some that were more a little bit open world. They gave you a little bit more choice of what you were going to do. So do you guys actually know the premise, essentially? I mean, you played the first one entirely.
Yeah, so I've got a pretty good idea of the premise, at least of the first one. I saw bits and pieces of the second one, and it was
don't, but I'll take a guess at what I think it is. So I think it's some sort of an RPG where you jump through portals into different video games / worlds of Disney / whatever else.
That's pretty close, yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. Because I've never played it, and I've only seen occasional trailers / gameplay. I have not really looked into it, but that's my guess.
So what I will say, and this applies to both of you, because you had an accurate guess, and Jace played the first one. Game 2 is amazing. It's genuinely amazing. The way it played, the companies that work together on this, by the way, Justin, because you won't be necessarily aware, is Disney, obviously, that you knew, and Square Enix. So the guys do Final Fantasy.
Squeenix.
Yep.
So your favorite company and your other favorite company.
Cool. For a lot of people, definitely. So you get characters who are incredibly serious, incredibly emotionally bound, well-written characters who seem like they're straight out of your favorite 300 long episode anime mixed with like Donald Duck.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And this is why I only ever played the first one.
And I get that. I do get that. But what they did and what they've continued to do in this very bizarre way is they've kept up with their audience who played the first one.
Okay.
So,
but if you didn't enjoy the first one,
yeah, they didn't keep up with me very well.
Yeah. So the thing is, if you played the first one upon release, and then you played all the ones that kept going, and then you played the second one at the age you were after playing the first one when it came out, it was better. And more in tune.
That sounds like a hard sell. It's like, if you buy this Honda Civic, but don't buy it now, buy it in the year 2000, but don't buy this Honda Civic, buy the Honda Civic that was parked next to this Honda Civic.
So all I mean is it aged with you. So instead of creating a franchise that only works if you get into it at a certain age, they did it the reverse. So if you watch the first episode of a show when you're at the age it was designed for, and then many years later you watch it as you grow up and it's made for you again at your new age, that's what they did
like
with
the
Kingdom
Toy Story
Hearts.
movies.
Sort of.
I guess that's probably a pretty good.
That's a pretty close, pretty close. So, but Kingdom Hearts 2 was really good in that way. It caught up with me in the age I was by the time I played it. Whereas
You're still a fucking child, though.
Yeah, I get why people would have dropped. I get why people would have dropped it at 1 though, because 1 was super kiddie. They let Disney have too much power in that, whereas 2 was like, give Square Enix the reins, and they did, and it was amazing. There was these scenes where you were running along buildings and jumping at the action. It felt like a Final Fantasy game, and it was so well done, and everything was awesome. But I mentioned all of this because Kingdom Hearts 4 got announced, and the internet is losing their fucking minds because it looks like they've done the same thing again, where they've caught up with the age people are now. So I urge you guys to watch the trailer.
Seen the trailer.
You saw it?
Yeah.
How much Disney was there in that?
I don't think you see any in the trailer, do you?
No, right at the end, you see Donald and Goofy.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, but it's like Sora on a couch at the start.
Yeah. 100%. It's like modern day Tokyo.
Yeah, except I think they gave it a different name at the start.
They did, because
I feel like I'm left
there's a whole bunch of lore there. There's a whole bunch of lore that I'm not going to get into.
Pause the show now.
Cut the VOD.
All right.
Yeah, cool,
I just watched the trailer, so that's done.
How does that go for someone who's not watched any Kingdom Hearts or played any game?
It left me wondering what the fuck was going on. It painted a good picture, and it looks pretty rad. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So given what we were talking about is the idea that it has grown with its audience, the Disney apparent stuff was exactly how much level to you out of 10?
Yeah, it was like 5% and barely there at all. I think it was just there to remind people that they still had that content in there somewhere. It's like deep within this darkness, there is this tiny bit of Disney left.
Yeah, it feels fairly like Big Hero 6 like if anyone's watched that.
I can't remember it. I think I have seen
but
it,
I have no fucking clue what you
know.
Yeah, which I think our audience
is like the Honda
probably...
Civic reference again.
I think our audience will relate to it more to you guys if you haven't watched it recently. But Big Hero 6 got a lot of credits for being a very adult sort of Disney adaptation. But yeah, no, so Kingdom Hearts came out recently. I wanted to mention it because it's a gaming reference, so it's not just an anime reference, even though it's obviously anime inspired because it's Square Enix. And it's I'm pretty fucking keen, man. As a big follower of the franchise who's played almost every game they've released, except for all the phone games, because phone games can go fuck themselves.
Except Max Payne Mobile.
Oh, that's totally fine.
Max Payne. Okay, that's a big
there's
thing.
a GTA.
We'll talk about that in a second.
I think I'm pretty fucking keen for this game. I think they've done exactly what they should have, and that's follow the fandom's age. And that's what the trailer says to me, is that we've listened, we've acknowledged, and we've grown with you, and we're gonna deliver.
That's cool. So if someone was going to get into the Kingdom's Heart franchise, and you probably wouldn't recommend them jumping into 4, right? Like you'd say, go back and maybe start from somewhere. Is there a good somewhere to start from, or do you have to go from 1?
I believe there's actually a remastered set for PS4.
There
is. Yeah.
So for PS4, you can buy Remaster 1 and Remaster 2. So both come with 3 games each that crossed all those platforms, brought into a PS4 style play. One on each of those remasters is just cinematics of those games.
1.5 and 2.5. I have seen those. What are they?
Exactly.
They like the remastered.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Right,
so so 1.5 and 2.5 of Kingdom Hearts is the remasters. I would recommend, just because I'm a huge fan, just play 2. Play Kingdom Hearts 2.
Are you going to be confused jumping into 2 though? Like, who's this guy with the key? What the fuck am I doing?
It will still work because they do a good tutorial and they do a good beginning game that makes you both entranced, not confused, and confused enough to want to know.
Right, okay.
And the thing is, the way they played Kingdom Hearts 2 was most of it was mystery till near the end anyway. So it doesn't matter that you don't quite get it. And then if you enjoy 2, go back and play 1 just so you understand the beginning story. I would recommend starting with 2 because most of our audience is not going to be children. And 1 was like, hey, let's mix Disney with Square Enix. And they were like, let's do 70% Disney 30% Square Enix. Yeah. Whereas 2 is closer to like 40-60. Like it's much more in favor of Square Enix. So I recommend start with 2 if you're an adult. And then 3 was good, but I'll talk about 3 on another episode. It just sounds like such a
weird fucking thing. I recommend 2 if you're an adult.
When you're playing your kid video games, if you're an adult, then start with number 2. If you're a child, then
ages 13 plus for Kingdom Hearts 2, please, children.
Look, I'm the anime guy recommending fucking video games right now, so I reckon start with 2, and then if you feel like the game is fucking fantastic and you want to know more about what's going on and you enjoyed playing it, then go backwards and work your way forwards. Because honestly, the reason I say that is because that's what I did. I played a little bit of 1 and was like, no, fuck off. This Disney shit can go away.
Yeah.
And then I played 2 many years later and was like, oh, this is really cool. This is fun. And then was like, okay, I need to know all this lore, and went backwards. So that's what I recommend.
Cool. All right. Well, you sold me on it. I'll check it out. See how I can actually go about doing that without a PlayStation now. So
yeah, I'm actually looking. There is definitely no PC version.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I didn't. Yeah. So we're shit out of luck there.
I think Kingdom Hearts is almost, because it's Square Enix, right? So I think it's almost always been a Sony exclusive.
First 6 Final Fantasies were all on Nintendo and Super Nintendo.
Were they really?
Correct.
I thought they were till 2 for some reason.
Nope. 6 was on Super Nintendo.
Huh. That's cool.
6 also got a re-release on PlayStation. 7 was on PlayStation and PC. 8 was on PlayStation and PC. Like, they've never really been exclusive to Sony, except for 10, I think. That sort of era.
Yeah, 10 was
10, 10.2, and 12 they came back to PC, and now we've got 10 on PC anyway, so it's like...
Yeah.
Anyway.
That was a thing I didn't need to know.
Shut up, Justin. We're gonna force you to play Final Fantasy.
Yeah, man.
I'm doing it.
It's coming.
No fucking
and
way.
The best way to start, just as to reiterate it, is 15. In the modern era, I think you can't do better
adult,
than 15.
15 if you're a child. All right, so Jace, you're going to sell us on something.
Yeah.
What are you selling,
Hookers
boy?
and blow.
Oh, you're going to sell me a used CD first.
A used CD?
Yep.
Hookers and blow with a used CD.
But what I'm going to sell you guys on is, or I don't have to sell Brady. He knows.
Oh, no, I know what it is. It's Rani the Witch quest line in Elden Ring, given your background.
Dude, I have not shut the fuck up about her quest line in so long. If you aren't sold on it, you're a little bitch.
I'm going to find it. You sold me on it.
Yeah, dude.
Also,
yeah.
It's a very large castle that I missed somehow, so I don't know. Anyway.
Elden Ring reference number 1, and it's beating the Skyrim references, but also that now counts as a Skyrim reference in this show.
Well, the blurring of Brady's camera is also a Skyrim reference. It's just like, when you first wake up on the cart.
Oh, you're awake.
You're awake. Perfect. Yeah, no, because you kept moving too close to your camera.
Yeah.
Right.
So, One Punch Man. So, this is actually an anime that I have kind of... We'll edit that out.
We'll have to, not to blow people's ears out.
So, it's an anime that I have been hesitant on. People have constantly said, oh, it's really good, it's really good. But I knew that the premise is basically the main guy beats pretty much everyone with one fucking punch. And I'm like, what kind of progression is that going to be good? Yeah, like the whole thing with like shonen is that like they're constantly upping themselves and trying to do a billion punches. And anyway,
and you also hate Superman, so it's like,
yeah, exactly.
Not far off.
However, this sort of goes with an interesting approach. His fighting ability has 2 parts of fuck all to do with anything. It's like, seriously, it's more about how everyone else is trying to deal with problems, and he's just like trying to do his shopping or something. And then on his way back, he walks past a monster. He's like, oh, what's that? And just punches its face off its body. And like, it's just so dumb. Like they've literally gotten the shonen formula and been like, we'll do the opposite of that.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, cool.
And like, he's just super apathetic. Like, the only time he really shows emotion is when he is annoyed that he's beaten an enemy too quickly because it only took 1 punch. And like,
when he forgets the shopping and the market
yeah.
God, this sounds like a terrible sitcom. Like, whoop,
no, it's
the shopping.
So good. Yeah, no, it's so good. I don't want to take it from Jace because he's doing such a fucking good job of talking about it. But One Punch Man, like, I recommended Konosuba to you in the early days, Justin.
Yep.
Purely because of the gaming elements and the way it sort of relates to all the things I knew you would know. But as far as comedy animes go, they're on par with each other. It just depends on what you relate to.
I don't know if it was on air or not, but you guys did mention One Punch like really early on, like way early on. There might be some footage of that actually on air, but I don't know.
And edit that in now, Brady.
Yep. Find it too.
Don't worry, man. You've only got like 30 episodes to go through. It's fine.
You love it. Yeah. So yeah, you guys did allude to watching it early on, and I've just been sidetracked with a whole lot of other shit.
it's a
to be
comedy
fair,
anime.
mate.
It's just that Konosuba probably fits your bill a little bit better for someone who at that time hadn't watched much anime, because I feel like One Punch Man makes fun of itself and anime, whereas Konosuba makes fun of itself and gaming.
Yeah. Konosuba, I think, was a really good gateway because it wasn't entirely like it had anime tropes, but it also just made fun of them at the same time, and it was just sort of, fun. So yeah, this doesn't sound too far off. So I think I'll definitely check it out for sure.
Yeah, there is also gaming references in there, especially when King gets involved. If King going and buying video games when you get to that scene, if that doesn't remind you of me, I don't know. I don't know what you think of me.
Sick.
That's just I just love him. Like, it's just the end of season 1 was the best, because eventually he got pushed to the part where it was like, oh, that's not going to be enough what he's done all season, and then it wasn't much better.
One punch wasn't enough.
Yeah,
season 2 punch.
No, so what he had to do is basically do a punch with a little bit more effort.
Oh, okay.
But he just wasn't trying earlier on.
Consecutive single punches.
Yeah. It's so good.
But I love that, and I love the mosquito. I just couldn't. I think that's only like episode 2 or 3, but I just, when he's hitting it, I was on the floor with how like anime mockery it was, but still so good. And also the art.
Two things I always ask about anime is how many seasons and how many episodes in a season. Actually 3. And how long are the episodes in the seasons?
Most animes are usually 20-ish minutes.
Yeah.
And
so
if you're watching
standard.
Bleach, they're only like 5 minutes after you're done with the fucking recap.
This is true most of the time with that.
But One Punch Man is actually very reasonable. But the other thing about it is, aside from it being very funny and doing all that, the art is actually quite good. And it's kind of almost funny how good the art is.
And especially when they do the like oversimplified faces, like that anime trope.
Yeah.
Because
like
they do it a
style.
lot. Yeah, sort of. It's sort of like,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so they just draw it with like less shading and stuff like that.
Yep.
They do that to Saitama's face to show how unimpressed he is with things.
What about the like qualifying set? It's become a meme. The like qualifying for the hero where he's just like, I'm trying not to spoil this for Justin, but he's like, and then like competes and everyone's like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And he goes from like a face that's literally like to it's so fucking so funny.
Good.
I'm gonna put those next to me in the edit of this episode, and
I think
you
you're
will
gonna
totally
need it because it just
it.
looks like you're like determined to take a shit.
That's how I always am, man.
Determined to take shits. Well, you take our shit every episode.
Yeah, that's what we do in the ad breaks, guys. That's why the ads are so long.
They're not even that long.
Nor the money we're raking in from those sponsors.
That's it. We wipe our ass with those notes.
It's plastic money. You can't flush it.
I don't care about the environment. That's how much money I've got. I've become that guy. I don't care about the environment. I'm flushing my money.
Vegan triggering.
With a shirt that says Pig Destroyer. Vegan triggering.
Okay. So there is a bit of a story about that band name. That isn't referring to animals.
Oh, okay.
That's a police reference.
Yeah, right. Yep.
And
like
this is like the greatest artwork that has ever been made.
It's like it's like the grindcore equivalent of NWA's Fuck the Police.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, right.
Yep. Nice. So I had something to sell to you guys now. I know that Brady's got some opinions on something to do with this. And
Yeah,
I know
we don't
that
care about
Jace
Brady's
has
opinions.
watched about a season-ish of it. I think whole season or no?
Yeah, I watched the whole first season.
Okay, so I'm talking about Castlevaina. So that's the Netflix 4 seasons worth of animated. Do you call it anime? Is it anime?
Yeah, even though it's
Yeah?
Western made, it's still anime.
Okay, cool.
I spoke about this early on with you guys, and I think the
Yeah.
whole like elitist
Bloodlines, right?
fucking attitude with it can go fuck itself.
Yep.
It's that style inspired animation, therefore it is.
Therefore anime. Yeah, 100%. That's the way I agree with it as well. Like I just it is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
It's animated cartoons is anime. So and it's beautiful. So anyone who hasn't seen Castlevania and who is also over the age of 18, I will say, should watch this.
So if you're an adult, you should watch Castlevania.
Yeah, from episode 1. If you're a child, you should watch none of Castlevania because
well, then
you're
you've
not
just
old
ruled
enough.
out fucking Brady. Good one.
Yeah,
Terrible
sorry, Brady.
salesman.
You'll have to wait until you grow up a little bit more.
Once your big boy hairs grow in, you'll be ready, mate.
When your kid turns 18, you might be old enough.
Maybe he can
When my
explain
kid
it to
turns
you.
18, for the record, okay, so random fact we didn't discuss I don't think we discussed in the episode Claire was on. Our kid is actually due the exact day of my birthday.
Whoa,
Right.
wow. So
Yeah,
you'll be
so
even
he's-
less important than you are now.
Yeah. But
Wow.
he's due on my 32nd birthday. Which means
right. You'll be
18th
50.
will be my 50th.
That'll be a hell of a party.
Yeah, Claire was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I should start saving for that alcohol tab now." I was like, "You should start saving for that alcohol tab 10 years ago."
Nice. Well, 2 people who won't be drinking there will be me and this guy. You.
Sobriety represent.
You guys will be there.
I don't know about that.
Pretty fucking busy that day, I gotta say.
Yeah, I think I'm washing my
I'm
beard that day.
Hold on, I'll just check my calendar. Yeah, I'm busy that year. I don't know. It's a pretty
I think
crazy
I'm working.
time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show him this so
What
he seeks
Day
revenge.
does that fall on?
Seeks revenge.
It's fucking Kill Bill.
Some 18-year-old shows up at my house with the rivers of blood.
Yeah.
You're
There
out
we go,
there,
another
you're out there
opening.
watering your lawn. He's like,
gonna show
this
up
is for
with
Brady.
this, like this fake bullshit, like bleach
Oh
sword.
yeah. He'll be
With
holding the
goose-
bleach sword,
with
and
Gusatama
Jace will be out there
hanging off the
watering
end.
his lawn out the front, and they'll be like, Jace Ross. They'll be like, Brady Gisborne sends his regards, and then he'll like give you the sword.
Just fucking mafia referenced.
Right?
If you weren't so bald, I'd kiss you on the mouth.
And kiss me on my bald head.
Yeah, true. I'd do that.
Anyway, Castlevania is what I was going to sell you guys on.
Fuck, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Apparently, I think so. Yeah.
Just-
So it's a
end it up.
Netflix exclusive, as far as I know. It's
It is,
4
yeah.
seasons long, 8 to 10 episodes per season, 20-ish minutes per episode. Not a lot of bullshit before and after, so I think they roughly turn out to be about 22 minutes. Very short intro each time, so it's not like they just get right into each episode. Like they really got to make it count, and they really do. Every episode is full of action. I don't think there's one episode where there isn't a fight of some kind, small or large. Shit is always building up to go down, and it builds up throughout every season. Just builds up to a point of just breaking by about episode 6 to episode 10. In between that time frame, shit is going down hard, and they have built up characters throughout those first 5 to 6 really well, and they all come together at some point into some massive climax, and it's fucking awesome. So hard sell on this one, guys. This is the first anime
Okay.
I've felt really strongly about.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the first time I've felt
Oh, dude.
Justin's like resolve for us to go at it, and so you mentioned that I had a bit of resistance or
Yeah.
opinion.
Well,
It's
before
not
you do that,
strong.
before you shit on it, I'll tell the guys what Castlevania even is, because all I said is the word.
Yeah,
So
it's
it is.
only like
It is
a-
based around Dracula and his sort of castle and his love story. So it's got his love interest in it for a part of it, and then things happen after that. I don't want to spoil too much because it is so good. Even though it's sort of old and I could spoil it, I just don't actually want to because the
Yeah, that's
story
my
is
job.
so fucking cool. So
Justin, you know it's based on a game, right?
no.
Oh my fuck!
Oh yeah,
that's
the
what
N64 game. Yeah.
No,
Guys,
no.
wait,
It goes back to NES.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, we're
but,
going to a break right now.
And we're back. And it's also a game, Castlevania. So that's something I just realized that I knew and forgot at the same time. So I knew it went back as far as N64. I remember seeing that game and being like, man, I really want that as a kid, and never actually getting it ever. And I'm sure I probably would have really enjoyed it if I had have. But yeah.
So I should preface this by I have never played a Castlevania game. Mostly because some of them just don't seem to appeal to me that much.
Yeah, I feel like the fact that there's so many of them, I feel like they've probably just gone a little bit too wide with the span of them. I'd have to really look into it to see what's going on.
It's different. I've learned a lot about the games, but I've just never played them.
Right.
But they all sort of follow the similar premise of the anime, if that makes sense. Except that it's more about the guys trying to track down and kill Dracula.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. Is it the Belmonts?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it focuses a lot on that.
Yeah. Rightio. Okay.
But,
well, where Castlevania picks up is that there is only one Belmont left, basically.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of humanity's last hope on trying to destroy Dracula. Him and a couple of other people. There's a speaker who's kind of like the mage, and Dracula's kin. So those three put together are like the A team that come together to try and fight Dracula. And I'm not going to say much else apart from that. And the fact that even
Mr.
though
T's not in it.
Well, yeah, Mr. T's not there. That's kind of rude. And even though Dracula's a bad guy, obviously he's just wiping out towns and things and going hell for leather. You still like his story and you can still very much feel for him. And that happens throughout the entire series with most of the bad guys. They don't really feel like bad guys. They feel like they're justified in what they are doing for their cause, or at least it started that way and shit just got out of hand. Whereas like a lot of times with anime, it's just this guy is evil because he came from hell and now you must kill him because he is demon. This is like these guys have morals, they have views, they have reasons, they have families, they have all of the right things going for them, and they're bad only just.
So that actually kind of reminds me of like the two other aspects that you see in anime. There's the full don't care aspect, which I've seen in the early parts of JoJo with Dio. He literally has no motivation except that he fucking hates JoJo, and that's pretty much it. He just he wanted to scam his father, and pretty much just I fucking hate JoJo, and that was it.
They tried a little bit with his dad was born into a poor
anyway,
family.
What's the point?
And then so they basically just give him as this is a bad guy. That's it.
Yeah.
And then you've got stuff like Bleach, where they give you the bad guy, and then 30 seconds before they murder the bad guy, they're like, "Oh, here's his terrible backstory."
Yeah.
It's
that's strange.
He had such a hard life, and now he died.
Yeah, it's similar to Demon Slayer, where he's like already dead, and then he's like, "Oh, rest in peace now. You had such a devastating life building up to this
I was
point.
gonna say Demon
Sucks
Slayer
to be
and
you."
Bleach have a lot in common in that regard.
Yeah, well, this one paints the other picture where it's like you feel for them quite a bit, and you could almost be on their side some of the time. You're like, no, I get this. I would rain hell if this shit happened to me.
If memory serves, I thought the first episode, the show was going to be about Dracula.
Yes.
Because I thought that, like, the start of it, I was like, I vibe with that. I fucking get,
dude.
I understand.
You get the motivation behind what he's doing and why he's doing it, because fuck you church going, you know, priesty boys that are trying to do everything in the name of God, but really for your own benefits. You know what I mean? Like,
I just want
hiding
the fucking priesty boys t-shirt now.
Dude, right? As soon as I said that, I was like, man, that's a great brand.
Yeah. It's
that's an ad
done.
coming up.
Thank you for helping us out there, Justin.
That's actually going to be a really good ad. Like, we should definitely lay down a Beastie Boys track, but do it in like inappropriate Priesty Boys stuff. For sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm putting that in the list right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty
right
sure
now.
Jace and I are very capable of that, actually.
We all are.
I've always wanted to try and rap, so, like, why not, right?
That could be fun. We could do that.
And I am a big Beastie Boys fan.
I am also a Beastie Boys fan.
Oh, man.
All right, so what's the takeaway from this episode? Everyone should watch Castlevania.
Yep.
If you haven't played Kingdom Hearts, that's fair enough. We get the hesitation there, but start with 2.
Yeah,
and if
start
it
with 2 if
entrances
you have a PlayStation, and you can
play around. And Jace?
One Punch.
One Punch. Yeah, fucking watch it. Quit
One
being
Punch
coward.
Man. It's only 2 seasons long, so it's even less than what I'm asking you to do, really.
But also,
except your seasons are longer. So
no, but both the manga and anime have just amazing artwork, and I didn't really rave about that too hard, but like, it is good for something that's majority a comedy. It's not generic. It is they put a lot of effort into that
I don't
artwork.
know if you've even seen anything to do with Castlevania, but I feel like it's next level good. Like, I have not seen an animation this good yet. And I know I'm still young on it all, but
it is good though. Like, Castlevania is what happens when you give an American slightly
with a
left
buttload of money.
of normal human being Netflix money.
Yeah.
That's
your issue with it?
I don't have an issue with it. I genuinely don't. I think I would probably get pegged with that because it's not technically anime, because it's not technically Japan. But I always fight against that. I think.
So he's now gotta watch it.
Pretty much. Yep.
Yeah. I'm keen. I like games.
I would sell the shit out of this for people who don't even like anime. Like, this is not a thing that you need to enjoy anime to watch. It's just a really good story-driven, cartoon-based, series. So I would say anyone.
I have no elitist ideas of calling it anime, or you can't call it anime just because it's an American person.
I will.
He took
put out
that
a warning
style.
though.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to finish with he took that style.
He took that style and decided to do it despite not being Asian himself.
Yeah, I mean, if someone told me I couldn't do something that I was good at, though, I'd be like, well, fuck you, I'm doing it anyway. And that may be kind of what his response was. Because how dare they tell us that we can't do something that, just because we're not born in that country? That's fucking ridiculous. What a joke.
As a guess, and it's only a guess, a lot of games, I think, probably would translate better to anime than to live action.
Mm-hmm.
As anybody who's watched a live action adaptation or adaptation of a game, and being like shockingly The Witcher is different.
And that's based on the books because the games are set slightly
Witcher
after the books.
Yeah.
Typically, though, how good are when anyone tries to make a game live action? Not good.
I'm actually struggling
stumped as all shit trying to think of anything.
The Hitman movie with Timothy Oliphant is
Yeah,
one
okay.
that comes to mind.
That's
I truly don't
one.
recall that at all. So
That's
Um,
one. But typically, I do actually suspect that for a lot of games, not all games, but for a lot of games, turning them to anime might actually be a better leap.
I would agree in some instances.
Some, not all, for sure. But
speaking of that, this actually leads me to one more topic that we have to talk about tonight. And that stems from an awful adaptation. Anyone remember Mark Wahlberg and Max Payne? And how fucking awful that movie was?
I do remember having seen some of it, and I was like, no you're
I
not ruining
didn't.
Max Payne for me. Yes, no, I never actually watched the whole thing. No.
So I am a huge Max Payne fan. I fucking love that series.
Same.
When you see my inevitable video gaming top 10, it's up there. I even thoroughly enjoyed 3, even though Remedy didn't make it.
Yeah, it was different, but it was still good.
Yeah, it still felt like it was in the spirit, but it was a bit removed.
Yeah.
The first 2 are absolute fucking masterpieces.
Agreed.
And word has dropped that Remedy will be remaking, not remastering, remaking Max Payne 1 and 2.
Yeah. Wait, but they're gonna are they gonna do the Mark Wahlberg thing or?
No.
Oh, dude, I thought that's where you're going with this. I thought you were gonna say they're remaking it, but they're gonna Mark Wahlberg the shit out of it.
No,
he's gonna come in and be like, boys, what's going on here? Y'all want a cheeseburger, right? A cheeseburger.
The one thing
Why
that
do you think that's what Mark Wahlberg said?
Because he's like fucking New York, man. Yeah.
What?
Isn't he from New York?
Yeah, and he's got the Wahlburgers show. Come on, man. It's not that far of a reach.
Yeah.
Dude, you need to get out of the fucking anime lab and just watch something regular.
Get out of the fucking basement, you weirdo. Go touch some grass.
That's the most gamer fucking.
That's also a Wahlburger reference because Wahlburger makes his brother eat grass on a sandwich quite often. So for like $20. It's great.
But yeah, so firstly, that movie was awful.
Yep.
But the one thing that Mark Wahlberg did well was his voice when he voiced Max was perfectly gravelly and devoid of emotion, which I guess sums up Mark Wahlberg's acting career because he's fucking shit ass.
Yeah, you get 3.
Yeah.
You get. Oh my god, is that happening?
He looks confused or surprised in every scene. His eyebrows are always up. Why?
Maybe they just like that. He's
Yeah.
making fun of the guy's face.
I'm so sad
I
right
don't
now.
care.
How is this happening?
You're an
Are
actor,
you really
though.
dying?
Being an actor means you've got to portray emotions. When I'm watching The Departed and you're yelling at someone and I'm like, why is he surprised while he's yelling at Leonardo DiCaprio? But yeah, Mark Wahlberg's terrible, but they're remaking these games. Now,
Yeah, okay.
the part that gets me excited is that it's not a remaster.
Yes.
And
It's
that
not just a
Remedy
bullshit
is doing it.
here's a 1080p version.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
because
Which is a
those
cop-out.
games I have replayed recently, and the first 2, as far as they control and handle, very dated nowadays.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I
It's
remember
a
them
bit
being
rough.
so next level back in the day. The whole bullet time and everything was just
Well,
on point.
As far as I'm aware, it was the first game to actually implement bullet time.
Yep. I'd say a close second would have been the
Really?
Matrix game back in the day, maybe.
Enter the Matrix,
right.
yeah. Enter the
I played
Matrix was
that.
a year or 2 later.
Yeah. Yeah, that was badass.
But pretty much after Max Payne came out, there were a bunch of games that did it.
Yeah,
Even
'cause it was
GTA
fucking
3. GTA 3 had a slow motion thing to try and capture it.
Yeah.
But obviously you can't dive or anything, so you're just
Kia.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, so remaking, and it's Remedy. So one of the things that you guys probably don't know is that Remedy used to work with Rockstar and 2K Games when the first 2 games came out.
Yep.
Then they sort of split and went off and did their own thing, which became Alan Wake,
Yes.
Quantum Break, and Control. and Rockstar still had the IP, so Rockstar are like, well, we'll make 3. 3 was all right, whatever. No one expected anything except maybe if they're gonna redo it, they're gonna redo it with the same shitty people who did the definitive edition of GTA 3 and Vice City and that.
God, kill us now.
Yeah. But this is a full ground up remake, and they're using the same engine from Control. If you've played Control, I've only played a little bit of it, but it's a really good third person shooter. Yep. So that engine is just built for Max Payne.
That'll be friggin' awesome. Because Control kind of looks like, if you picture a Max Payne world and then put Control sort of in it as well, it doesn't feel that far off. Like the whole magic and all the rest of it, elements of like bullet dodge is very similar to some of the aspects in Control.
Yeah, so one of the interesting things that they have mentioned, I believe, and someone in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong, is that the entire like Quantum Break, Alan Wake, and Control thing is all the same world. Ooh. So it would not be a stretch to imagine that Max Payne is part of that too.
I feel like this happens a lot though, where people are like, oh, but this guy who was on this job and this job and this job,
like the people who are trying to say that Elden Ring and Dark Souls are together.
They always try and find this. Like me mowing my lawn, you guys mowed your lawn. There's a link there. Like,
stop those trying to link mowing lawns to anything other than fucking lawn mowing gigs. You weirdo.
Brady's out here like, oh, lawn mowing's an isekai.
Genuinely, I would need to die and be reincarnated with lawn mowing abilities to want to mow my fucking lawn.
It was an isekai when I brought my mower to your house, though. Because I introduced my mower to your grass.
It's true.
Did you die and get reincarnated in my lawn?
His lawnmower did.
No, sorry.
My lawnmower died 3 times trying to mow your lawn. My hopes of being done in 4 hours died when I saw your
lawn. Sick.
But no, this actually is one of those instances where, like, the developers have confirmed that Alan Wake, Quantum Break, and Control are all one world.
Cool.
So
I'm happy to hear that it's not Rockstar only picking this up as well. Like, it is confirmed that it is. Was it Remedy? Is that
Remedy. Yeah.
So Remedy and Rockstar are going to work together on this. So Rockstar aren't like, we own this, so fuck you. We're doing a remake. You know, like it's confirmed.
One of the awkward things is that people who know a bit of Max Payne trivia, the face of Max Payne in the first game is actually Sam Lake, who's like the president of Remedy. It would be a bit awkward to not like model Max Payne off the fucking guy from the company.
That would be pretty cool.
For a remake.
Yeah. That'd be really cool.
If you ever look up Sam Lake, because if you remember the first game, anytime he shoots, he all looks like, and his face is just like that the whole fucking time. But yeah, that's just a still image of Sam Lake.
That's why they chose Mark Wahlberg for the role.
He has just the right amount of surprise.
We talk about One Punch Man. It's One Face Man.
So, did you guys?
Face Man, Mark Wahlberg.
Have you played Max Payne, Brady?
I have played with friends, not myself.
You need to get into that story.
Yeah, because it's like a manga, right? There's graphic novel pages, so it's like a manga.
And it's an isekai.
Yeah. You drop into the video game.
That's not...
Or Max Payne's wife dies and goes to another world.
Cool.
Kind of like the Batman bot.
Actually, there was one last recommendation as far as anime goes from my side, and it's one I haven't mentioned on the show yet. Is Dr. Stone.
I swear I thought you were about to say Dr. Seuss. I was like, dude, that's not an anime. That actually is a cartoon.
So the reason, so I watched Dr. Stone and was like, oh, it's not bad. It's cool. So it's basically a dude living his normal life. He's like a teenager, as most of them are. And then everyone in the
Always.
world, including him, gets turned to stone. And then
The end.
a gajillion years fucking pass, and he basically comes out of it due to a specific mix of chemicals dripping on him. But
It's a
he's
bird
super
taking a shit.
into science, and he works out what that is. So he takes that compound and uses it to
Many birds
unstone-
taking shits. Yep.
Yeah. So you're actually not far off. It's like bat guano, which I feel
Yeah,
like
which
is
is
like
yeah.
Fucking
whoever
nailed it,
wrote
dude.
Dr. Stone.
Bro, I
was
should be
super
writing anime.
into fucking Ace Ventura.
I'm gonna write Dr. Seuss the anime,
Yeah, sweet.
and it's gonna be like super dark. Like
Yeah,
Grinch.
that'd be
Grinch
sick.
is gonna be hella sick.
But yeah, like whoever wrote it was like super into like
Guano.
yeah guano. So
He's into Ace Ventura.
Yeah,
Guano.
that's what I reckon though, because like he like full de-stones, and then he works that out and he uses it to de-stone other people, and then finds other people, and then there's like a war against some of the people.
They're all
But
just throwing shit at each other. Like
it's many years in the future, and then they find like time capsules from people in the past, which was his time, and you work out that even though they were in stone, they were conscious. So he was like actually counting time, so he knew how many years.
Oh, so they were watching him do all this weird shit. He's back in his cave and he's like, no
No one,
watching me,
no
son.
one was moving.
Yeah, he's sitting
It
there
was just
fucking
animals.
wanking over fucking
So,
stones.
so
These stones
the
are like,
reason
"Oh, this
I
is
like Dr.
awkward."
Stone, so the reason I like Dr. Stone is it feels like the adult version of those like kid educational animations.
Like the Magic School Bus.
I was picturing like sex ed.
What is with you and poo and sex at the moment? It's just Justin on the poo and sex run.
The worst part is, I was gonna say it's like a combo of both.
Yeah.
Oh, yuck.
Justin's gonna go
Ew.
inside after this and cop it up the batty.
Jesus.
Wow, that's
But it-
fucked.
Cop it up the batty.
Yeah, mate.
Fuck.
Such an Australian saying.
But
oh
yeah,
my god.
it
yeah,
is.
so anyway.
He explains what he's doing at each point in basic terms. Like he shows them how to use electricity when he discovers primitives. He shows how to make cola.
That's important.
It
Life
is
skill right there.
because he showed it, and I was like, "Fucking bullshit, that works." And then I did it myself
And then you made
as a
cola.
human, and was like, "Holy fuck, that
I've
works."
seen you make noodles. I don't trust that you made
Okay,
something.
so what weirds me out the most, I want to
I don't
describe
even
this
trust that
recipe
he made a
because-
baby.
So
It probably
Justin's
took him
the
a few
only-
goes.
So Justin's the only actual chef here. So the recipe for cola, and in fairness, this isn't like Coca-Cola. This is cola as such. So it's
I don't know why they would have got cocaine back when the Stone Age was on.
They're in the future, idiot.
Yeah, then they're like a future past or something. Isn't like all
so
all
it's like
technology is
lime,
lost.
lime,
Yeah.
honey. What's the weird thing? Is it? I think it's coriander.
Nah, I'm out.
And then they just put like what's the sparkling water?
Soda water.
Carbonated water
Mineral
or
water.
soda water.
Carb water. I think that's it. But yeah, they do that in this like short where he's like a super like lame animated version of himself, and he's like, "This is how you make it." They do that in many episodes, even though it's like a show that has a lot of serious dramatic topics about like what would happen if this occurred.
You're describing like the end of every episode of Captain Planet, where they're like, "Hey kids,"
He's like,
Kind of, but
if
it's
we
more
didn't throw back to
adult
Elden
because-
Ring and Skyrim enough, Justin brings up Captain Planet for the 50th
dude,
time.
I gotta bring it back to that sometimes. I love Captain Planet,
Dude, his mullet was sick.
right? He was rocking that
he
shit,
had a mullet.
full
Dude,
blown
of course he
green
did.
ass mullet, blue skin and a green mullet.
Yeah, like he was clearly related to Rani, and just green mullet. There we go, another Elden Ring reference. Bam. You're looking
I'm
up
gonna
pictures,
find
aren't
the.
you?
Yeah, no, I'm finding the Dr. Cola recipe.
Oh right,
Yeah,
Dr. Stone Cola. But there was heaps. So carbonated water, honey, coriander, and lime.
so I'll try that, but I'll substitute honey with something else. But if it's shit,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
coming
fine.
for you.
But
Like egg or
astoundingly, it
Yeah, something like that. That or like
when I
rice
did it,
malt
it
or
tasted
something.
like cola cordial. Not so much like Coca-Cola, but it tastes like cola cordial, and I was like, "Oh, why did lime and coriander make that? Like that's fucking crazy."
yeah, that's
and then
pretty
they,
whack.
Isn't
they
cola
show-
supposed to be based off some sort of weird bean or something?
Yeah.
Isn't
But
there
they,
like
they
a
show
cola
a
bean?
bunch in this whole anime that is like
We're a bunch of
this-
idiots trying
this
to work
should do
out shit
this.
without googling
so
it.
they show how to like they show how to like melt down certain metals to make other metals, and I was like bullshit, and then googled it and it's true.
Yeah,
There you
so
go.
it's a nut. It's called the cola nut.
Mm.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
And it contains caffeine.
Yeah,
That also makes a lot of sense. I wonder if they've ever tried to do anything else with cola nuts apart from making Coca-Cola. Like,
You should see what I do with these cola nuts. Got him.
You should see what I do
shit.
with these nuts.
That really took a while to come up with, Brady.
But yeah, no. So the show does like a lot of science stuff, and it's really cool. Like there was a bit that I sort of knew and was like, wait, I think that's actually real, and then looked it up, and it was fucking real. Dr. Stone is actually worth watching because it's funny. You learn without learning. It's worth the watch, for sure.
Okay.
science is cool, is what you're saying.
Science is
Alright.
cool, though.
It is.
I
cool.
don't want to
It's pretty
say
whack.
that because it's fucked, but also science is cool.
So how many seasons
There's only 2 out right now.
and how many episodes?
They're like 15 a season, I think.
That's
And how long?
22 an episode.
22.
Normal.
Okay.
Good.
That's
Yeah.
all right.
Good. All right. No more sneaking in like the hour-long episode, you bastard.
No.
Give it the old
it's
HBO
good.
special. Every
They
episode's an hour.
start
and the
from
end of the
scratch
season's
though.
an hour and a
Like they
half.
start working out.
Yeah.
Like he learns how to make like one thing and then works out. Oh, that thing can be used for another, and then that thing can be used for another, and it's really interesting how he takes the Stone Age with the not Stone Age knowledge work.
Yeah, because I feel like if I went back in time and tried to teach them a bunch of shit, man,
Well, so
they got the wrong guy to travel back there,
Yeah,
right?
there's like a brief tournament arc in Dr. Stone because he tries to teach primitives. He comes across stuff and they're like, no, fight for our princess's right to marriage. And he's like, just want to teach you how to make lights for Christmas. And they're like, what the fuck is any of that? Fight.
yeah, no, that's fair. I would fight rather than deal with Christmas.
It's worth the watch. I think the way they do everything is both equal parts fun and you're like, oh, is that real? And then you look it up and it's good.
Fair enough. Well, that sounds interesting.
I've put it
What's
on the list.
Where do you
takeaways
find it?
here? We have Kingdom Hearts, Castlevaina, Dr.
Punch.
Stone,
Dr. Stone.
One Punch Man,
Yeah.
And Max Payne remake because
Max Payne
I'm
remake.
putting my
Look
money
forward to
down.
it. Damn, son. It's a big claim. Big claim.
The moment they pulled in Remedy,
Yeah.
I was pulling out my credit card.
The moment they said Rockstar, you're like, putting that back in my pocket. And then they had said Remedy, and you're like,
I reckon we got to do a 3, 2, 1 end one punch with like the most falsetto you can manage.
and one punch? Like, that's the words? And one punch?
No, it's just one punch.
Oh, one punch. I don't know. I haven't fucking seen it yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you're
really
fucked,
weird.
though.
Like, wait
No,
till
we
you've
got this.
seen
We
it
got
and you-
this. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
One punch.
I can't wait to fuck with that edit.
Just grab my audio and then just dump it. Just pitch shift the fuck out of it.
Yeah. The
So it's
best
just like-
was I knew you were going to do the metal one. And I was like, I could too, but Justin's going to be fucked. So
Well,
I was
like,
waiting for the lead.
I was
didn't know
half
where it was
tempted.
going.
So this is probably something worth bringing up while the pod's still running, right?
Jesus.
When I was like a regular metal vocalist, I was known for doing high-pitched screams. But the problem was that my high-pitched screams are extraordinarily loud.
Yes.
Like,
I agree, Paul.
When I was recording at a studio in Sydney, they had me in the soundproof booth. And after I'd recorded my highs, because they had to be recorded in separate sessions for mastering purposes, the sound engineer actually came in the booth and he's like, dude, we could hear you in the mix, like in the mixing room. There's 2 soundproof booths between.
Damn.
Like there was
Yeah.
the booth, an outer booth, and then the mixing room, and he could hear me
Yeah.
through it. There was one point on stage when I performed, and the sound guy was really shit at like actually moving the slider for my mic as I'd requested. So I actually threw the mic off the stage and finished without a mic. And a woman from the back of the Metro Theatre in Sydney, if you're familiar with it, came up to me afterwards and she was like, oh my God, I can't believe I could hear you over the band.
Damn.
Oh.
That's hectic.
But yeah, so that's why I didn't go high and metal. I could have just done like falsetto, but like I'm a bit tone deaf, so I didn't want to try and do clean.
That's fair.
And
Great backstory.
that is my story about how I used to do metal vocals.
Yeah, I went high in falsetto because I was like, I'm pretty sure Jace is going to go the proper metal, and I'm pretty sure Justin's going to be a not sure mid.
Yeah, I thought I went really high, but now that I know my voice
No.
is actually way lower. Nope.
Nah, it was definitely way higher than me though, so you're good.
That's good.
But
We
no,
got
no.
a good balance there.
Definitely just put it in the editor and then just pitch shift us all the way up. Yeah, up. Go up like 7
I'm not going to
octaves on
shift
me.
any of us. I'm just going to put us in time because none of us were
What
fucking
are you
in
talking
time.
about, man? Our
We
timing
nailed
was
it. Yeah. All right. Well, that I think is a wrap. We got
Yep.
Castlevania. We got One Punch. We got Kingdom Hearts if you get a PlayStation, starting from Kingdom Hearts 2. And what was the last one? It was
Max
Dr.
Payne.
Stone. Oh, and Max Payne. Look forward to that 1-2 remake as well. That's a
and
wrap.
bye.